Hello there, we're back and we're gonna be making some cinnamon rolls or cinnamon buns, whatever you wanna call them. We're gonna start early today, it's 1:30. I fed my sourdough starter this morning at 7 a.m. So this is what it looks like right now at 1:30. It's not quite doubled in size, but we're gonna get started because I'm really cold and I wanna have a shower and warm up. So the sooner I do this, the sooner I could go get nice and toasty. Look at this cute little mug my friend got me, Jasmine. I'm drinking some tea from my friend Joe, Immunity. I'm just surrounded by such nice friends. Okay, let's get started. So first things first, we're gonna do 240 grams of milk. And because I don't drink cow's milk, I'm doing 0 sugar vanilla silk almond milk. Shake it up. So I'm tossing in 240 grams and this makes 12 buns. So you want this at room temperature, which mine is not because it just came out of the fridge. That's too much. Oh, perfect pour. Love that. Let's try that again. Go a little slower. So if you wanted to, you could always just toss it in the microwave for a minute or so. Probably not a minute, but just a little bit so it's more room temperature. Because once I put in this melted butter, it's gonna not be such melted butter anymore in there because it's cold. So we have 42 grams of butter, which I already melted ahead of time. Just gonna stir this up and throw it in there. And I'm just gonna try to stir it together quick before the butter just all forms into one clump in one spot. We are going to add 2 eggs in. Let's add in our 2 eggs. Hopefully without the shells this time. And that's another reason why you'd want it to be room temperature as well, because if your eggs go into like a super warm mixture, they might start cooking in there a little bit. But because the milk is cool and the butter was melted, the eggs are good. Zero out that scale again, and we're gonna add 150 grams of sourdough starter. And I'm just using a separate spatula because I don't wanna contaminate my sourdough starter with anything but sourdough starter. Cool, so we have our 150 grams of sourdough starter. Set this sucker aside for later. Next up, we're gonna give it a stir again. Zero out our scale. I never find the sourdough mixes in well, but probably because I just stirred it for 2 seconds. It'll mix in once I start getting in there. We'll get some flour added in. So 36 grams of sugar. We're gonna use white sugar. This is organic cane sugar. You can use whatever white sugar you want. Come on now. 36 grams of sugar. Now we're going to want 450 grams of flour. And I'm just using an all-purpose white flour for this. So 450 coming right up. Cool, so we have 450 grams of flour. And next up, we want 7 grams of salt. And the salt I'm using is just a sea salt, sal de mer. Cool, and now we're done for now with our scale. So I'm just gonna set that aside. And we're gonna stir this guy together. You want it nice and mixed to form a shaggy ball. She's real sticky dough. I notice when I'm editing my videos, I call things she and he a lot. And I don't know how I decide what things are, but I don't know where I was going with that thought either. So that's about all I have to say about that topic. I just don't know why I do it, I guess. It's like French. When French things are like male and female, I never understood that. I don't understand my own language either. Okay, so I really didn't mix it for that long. Maybe like a minute. So it's just like super sticky, shaggy. It's not even a ball. So next we're just gonna put a lid on top. This is the lid I'm using today for it. Or you can cover it with whatever you have. Plastic, a dish towel, hand drying towel? You know what I mean. So we're just gonna plop that on top and we're gonna let it sit there for half an hour. So I'll see you at 2 o'clock. I got a little caught up cleaning, so it's 2:15. So now we're just gonna knead. We're gonna knead for, I'm not gonna record it all because y'all don't need to watch that, but for anywhere between like 7 to 10 minutes. I'll show you a little bit of kneading and then I'll do the rest so you don't have to watch. So we're gonna sprinkle the counter with some flour. Oh my gosh, it is so sticky. My lid just got stuff all over. Just so used to bread, you know? It's not that sticky. I'm gonna put a little bit more flour on the counter actually. Got some flour on my hands and we're just gonna wowzer. Put it on the counter. That's real wet. I'm gonna have to work at it to get it out of here. Probably should have gotten a spatula. I have a feeling I'm gonna be adding quite a bit of flour to this knead. just going to, I don't know, move it towards the middle and squish it. Knead away. I usually just pull one side and push in the middle. Okay, it's not too horrible once you get going. So I guess I'm gonna probably turn off my camera instead of record myself kneading for almost 10 minutes. Okay, so I've quit kneading. Don't really know how long I did it for. That's not helpful. I did it for 2 songs. That's also not helpful because songs are different lengths. So now you're gonna get a clean bowl and I'm gonna use my butter and I'm going to butter the bowl. I use for butter because I don't like real butter because I didn't eat it for so long. I don't know, whatever. It's Earth, wow, Balance. It's gluten-free, non-dairy, and vegan. And it's my favorite one that I came across. I was vegan for a lot of years. So that's how it all got started. And I just never went back to real butter because I think it hurts my tummy a little bit. So I just took the butter in a paper towel and I'm just gonna whoosh it around the bowl. Get it nice and coated because it is a stickier dough rather than a floury dry dough. Coated butter bowl. Check. And I'll show you the dough. Boy, that stuck to the counter real good. So here's the dough, it's really sticky. It wasn't a nice little ball until I picked it up. So now we're just gonna take this, plop it in, and then we're gonna put our lid back on or whatever you use to cover it. Tea towel, whatever you like. Whatever doesn't let it dry out. So we're gonna let this sit overnight. So you're supposed to let it sit from like 8 to 12 hours or until it's doubled. Mine is definitely gonna be sitting later because it's like 2:30 maybe. I don't know what time it is. We're gonna go with about 2:30, so it's sitting for a real long time, but that's okay. We'll see you again in the morning to check out what it looks like. Oh, I'll show you it in its bowl so we can check out the growth in the morning. There it is, all the way down yonder. Just a little tip, if you were doing it like something extremely early like I am, you can keep it somewhere a little cooler, not like the fridge, but somewhere like that's not super warm or in the sunshine because then it will rise slower because it's going to sit in for a long time. But if you're just doing it right before bedtime or the normal 8 to 12 hours, then you can leave it somewhere that's like room temperature or warm or yeah, whatever. Good morning. I wish you could smell through the phone because my kitchen smells so good right now. I'm making some breads for another video. Jalapeno Gouda, so good. Let's get started. Remember that sweet little dough we saw yesterday in its bowl and it looked like a little bun? I can't even take off the lid because it's so stuck. It grew. Oh, she grew. Okay, well, it was really tall, but now you don't know because I just deflated it. But there she is. Made a mess. Probably should have thought about the lid situation a little bit better, but that's okay. But I cleaned the counter, wiped that right on down, and now we're just gonna grease the counter. You could flour it, but I did end up adding like flour yesterday when I kept kneading it because it was so sticky. So I just don't want too much flour in there. I'm actually going to, and I've never done this before, but I'm gonna use coconut oil, or you could use butter. I thought about the butter, and then it just seemed weird to me. This whole thing seems weird to me. Or you could use oil, which I think is more normal, but I'm using coconut oil. I use a organic virgin coconut oil. I think it's unrefined and raw. No, unrefined, cold pressed, virgin olive. No, it's not olive oil, coconut oil. I should just let you read this because I'm telling you wrong information. So here's my coconut oil and my doughy hand. And I'm just, yep, we've done this before. Feels very Calstrange. That's okay. So there is our oiled counter. I know sometimes people like oil and then put flour on top. I'm gonna just oil and hope for the best. And if it doesn't work out, then that sucks. So now I'm just gonna let it hang 10. That's a clump of coconut oil from my hand. Oh yeah, that's sticky. Mine is like super stretchy, probably because it's been sitting and the house is like very warm because the oven's on. So normally what I would do, and this isn't the case today, is I would stretch this out and it would kind of start to shrink up a little. And then what you would do is you would let it sit for 10 minutes while you get the other ingredients ready to lay in the middle. And then you'd stretch again. So anytime your dough is giving you a hard time, you just let it rest. Give it little resting periods. And I'm gonna get a measuring tape so I can measure out the length of this guy. Okay, so I got this. So we want it to be 24 by 12. So we're not quite there yet. So you can get your rolling pin You're gonna lightly dust some flour on top and use your rolling pin. I might just stretch it by hand. I do have a rolling pin somewhere in the house. Maybe I'll get a rolling pin because then it'll just be more uniform. Because right here is like a big hump. And I don't want it humpy. I don't think I know where to keep my rolling pin. I do this oh, there it is. Just kidding. So we're just gonna roll her out. Probably not too much because we're almost already at the length. So the original recipe of this only makes 8, but I thought that was silly. So I just made everything. So it makes 12. I feel like 12 is just a better number. I don't know. So let's see. What did I say, 24 by 12? So we're almost at 24. Just a little touch more. Do you ever just hum songs that aren't even songs and you're just like kind of humming a tune? One of my jobs, I had somebody tell me, because I didn't even notice I did it. And they said to me, you're always singing a song. And I was like, well, that's kind of annoying. They didn't say that. I said that. Almost at 25, so got a little carried away there and not quite at 12. I think that's as good as we are going to get. So next up, we're gonna get the insides ready for this. So this is the middle. We're gonna do 42 grams of butter. Okay, cool. 42 grams of butter, and I'm just using the Earth Balance vegan butter again, or you could just do the obvious and use butter. You're just gonna melt that in the microwave, and then you're gonna wanna get some sugar. So I'm gonna use organic cane sugar. You can use whatever white sugar you like. So it just calls for white sugar. I might do a little combination here. Might do some white sugar and some, where does it say? Why is that French? Is this, oh my gosh, I've never bought this sugar before. That's why I'm having a hard time. Perfect topping for hot cereal and desserts. That sounds good. So I normally always buy dark brown sugar. This is Demerara style sugar. I'm gonna have to look that up because I don't even know what that means. So we have our melted-ish butter, and then zero that scale out. We're gonna do 150 grams of sugar. So it does call for white sugar, and I'm gonna do combo. You could do whatever you want. You could do all white sugar. You can do half and half. I'm just letting the scale hit that at 82. And then we're gonna throw in some Mama sugar. I really gotta look that up. I didn't even know that was an option. I just thought it was like brown sugar, golden sugar, dark brown sugar. So we have 150 grams of sugar. Then we need 4.5 teaspoons of cinnamon. So we're done with the scale. Just turn that guy off. So I'm just using Selection ground cinnamon. I did go on this big journey about cinnamon at one point, as I do with like many random things. And I was buying like specific cinnamon because I was reading about it. Fell off that wagon though. So we're gonna do 4.5 teaspoons of cinnamon. I love cinnamon. And then the last one is 1.5 teaspoons of flour. I'm just doing all-purpose white flour. It's just got these measuring spoons because I'm very like aggressive with stuff and I tend to break stuff a lot. I don't want to. It's just a part of who I am. It's not like I break it out of rage. I'm just like, I don't place things down. It's just like very slammy and I don't mean to be. Anyway, stir it together. We're gonna spread it all over this dough. I'm so totally not doing an icing for this, which you could look up like a cream cheese one or a different type of icing. I'm just not gonna do an icing. I never have. I don't like doing it. I don't know why. I usually just always skip it. You could probably even just use your fingers for this. I'm gonna do that. Everything just feels so much easier with hands. I don't know why. That bubble won't go away. That's silly. So I know a lot of people generally don't enjoy stuff on their cinnamon buns. What is that about? I don't know. Also, I feel like in the past when I've done this is much more spready, so maybe I needed a touch more butter or I needed it more melted. Melt! Whatever the weather, Trevor. We're gonna make it work. It's like a snowstorm outside and the city's pretty much shut down, so today's gonna be a lot of kitchen. So what else do you do? I don't know. Edit videos and make sourdough stuff, and then you're stuck with all the sourdough stuff. Like I have 6 loaves of bread. Ain't nobody I could give it to because I'm trapped. Oh, sad face. I don't love that this isn't spreading like more uniformly. because you don't want to bite into it without like some yumminess. You know what I'm saying? Also, try to keep it away from the edges just so that like you can seal the bun better, as I'm like doing it right near the edges. Yeah, my advice for you is melt the butter a little more. I was kind of thinking when I'm stirring it, it usually seemed a bit more runny before, so, you know, whatever. I did it to myself at this point. Nothing like a little body hand heat. Won't fix nothing. Because people are silly billies and like plain Jane cinnamon buns, I'm gonna do a couple of different flavors on this guy because it should make 12. And I want options. Do people do chocolate chips and cinnamon buns? I don't know. Does that go together or does that sound awful? Never tried. Maybe I should Google it. I'm not gonna Google it. I'm just gonna do it. And then I'm gonna do a little dark chocolate chip right here. Do people like chocolate chips? I might be messing up so big right now and ruining all the cinnamon bunny. Okay, let's do this differently. We're doing chocolate chip on the end. Yeah, let's do this differently after you poured it all. Ding dong. Then I feel bad for the person who gets the bum cinnamon bun because like, you know, there's just not as much flavor on that one, right? I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this. And I'm also not going to try one with chocolate chips, so I'll never know how I feel about it. Next up, we are going to, oh my gosh, shut the fridge, silly. We have some Kirkland walnuts. I love walnuts, and I know nuts are not like always the safest option for peeps. But we're going to throw walnuts with, oh yeah, baby, we aren't done. It's not just a walnut time. No, you know what? I think cinnamon buns with like chocolate chips and chocolate flavor is normal. No, shoot. I was thinking about butter tarts. I don't know. Where are all my raisins? I know I have an overflow of raisins somewhere. Here we are. So we're just using Sun-Maid raisins. Oh my gosh, open up. Get out of there, raisin. People don't like you. Stay in your lane. Oh my gosh, my stomach's so hungry. I haven't eaten breakfast yet. And I've been making bread and it just smells so good. Sorry, I had to rescue some bread from the oven. Now we're gonna throw in some cherries. Go big or go home apparently today. So I'm just gonna break them up and throw them on. Is it too much with the cherries? I don't know. Maybe for some people. Do cherries go in cinnamon buns? I'm questioning everything right now. I feel like I had a good handle on cinnamon bun-age. Now I really don't know. I don't ever order cinnamon buns from somewhere. Shoot, maybe this is weird. Well, good thing there's a good section of normal ones. Do people pick stuff out of cinnamon buns? Yeah, they probably do. They'll be fine. People, like I'm leaving the house to deliver anything today. There are no people. Next up, we're gonna rinse off our flanges. So I'm just gonna do this for a baking tray. You can use whatever you got. And I'm gonna get parchment paper. I just crunched up my parchment paper. And then I'm gonna lay it down. Oh, shoot the boot. Oh, I thought I put my ruler measurer, tape measurer, measuring tape. So now we're just gonna take this guy and roll it up. Oh boy, it's sticking to the counter pretty well. Don't love that. Probably should have floured it first. Silly girl. It's still going. We're not ripping. It's just really sticky. I'm just gonna keep flouring our fingers as needed. Why am I talking so loud? I don't know. That's okay. So many chocolate chips in one area, especially if it's not going to be good. Shh. Whatever, dude. Whatever. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take some flour. Well, I'm not even done rolling. And sprinkle it behind. And then, am I on screen? We're still on screen. Killing it. Then we're gonna take it and put it in the flour pile because that was crazy. And you just kind of want to try to seal your edges if you can. I mean, it's sticky enough that I should be able to. Now we're gonna sprinkle some flour. Get a knife or whatever you like to use. I'm gonna use this guy, scraper. You're going to want to cut every 2 inches. So there's 2, 4, 6, 8. Why am I thinking this is making more than 12? I don't do math, but it feels like a lot. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Oh yeah, baby. We're almost at 12. Made a bit more than I wanted. That's okay. I just kind of don't cut all the way first because sometimes if you're like, oh, that end one looks like it's so small, I might just adjust everything a touch. So it will be a more normal size, but we good. Now I'm thinking This pan may not be enough. That's okay, we're gonna find out. So now the only caca thing is I don't want to forget which ones are chocolate chip. So I'm gonna try to make sure I have a chocolate chip on the top of those ones. Or if you didn't want 12, oh shoot, the boot, I just squished one. Then you could have just made it a little bit like them, a touch bigger instead of having 12. There's chocolate chips in this one still. You are my chocolate chip bro. This one should be clear of chocolate chips, we hope. This one feels, yeah, like there's stuff in it. I don't know about what I put in these cinnamon buns. Calstrange. Oh yeah. Do you see my organization skills? I am organized, but like, what's happening? All our little friends are nestled in their pan. So next step is you're just gonna let it sit for 1 to 2 hours. And I'm gonna cover it with this. So if you have saran wrap or a dish towel or whatever, it won't let dry out, cover it up. So here it is, very floury from my hands. This is what they look like right now. So we'll come back in an hour or 2 and see what they grew to be. And it's probably gonna be less than that because my oven is going and she's warm in here. Back and it's been an hour. And we're just gonna set these guys in the oven. The oven is preheating at 350. It's already ready just because I had my bread cooking and the bread was cooking at 430. So we need it to cool down a touch. So we're gonna put it in 350. It grew a little, filled out the pan nicely. And we're gonna put it in for 35 to 40 minutes, but you could check at the 30-minute mark, make sure the tops are just nice and browned. And then I'll be back after they're cooked and we'll check them out. So the cinnamon buns are all done. I put them in for an extra 10 minutes. So they said 30 to like 40 minutes basically. And they just weren't cooking really. So I'll put them in for the extra 10. They're nice and golden on the top. So next you're just gonna leave them in the pan for like 10 minutes. And then after the 10 minutes, pull it out by the parchment paper and let it sit on a wire rack until it cools off a bit. Thanks for watching.